Hey, how's it going? If you're new here, my name is Jan and I love makeup. And if you're not new, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you. I thought for today's video, I would do a quick tutorial on how I do my brows, like in depth, specifically what I do. I don't know that this is going to be interesting for most people, but I was thinking this morning if it helped one person, that would be really cool. And it's taken me years to get where I am with my brows now. And with things being the way they are, it should change again at some point the more I learn and the more I'm able to do. But for now, I thought I could just show you what I do. So that's what I'm going to do today. Hopefully you're up for that. If you are and you're not already subscribed, you could do that now and click on the little bell and choose all, and YouTube will notify you when I upload a new video, which I do a bunch of times a week. So they'll notify you and you can choose to watch or not. It's totally up to you. Either way, I appreciate you being here. Okay, so in my late teens, I discovered most people had two eyebrows. I did not. I only had the one. They were very, very thick. I mean, we're talking down to here, and they were thick in the middle. And so I plucked the heck out of them, so I would have two. And, you know, I don't know that there were necessarily trends back then, but I know thinner brows were the thing, and I didn't know enough, so I just kept plucking in the center. And, you know, down here, there's some larger follicles in this area where I can see I used to grow hair there. But plucking for more than 25 years, those hairs really don't come back. And some of these right here on the edge of my brow are growing back in. I would like them to be thicker, but for now, this is what I have. So I've started using my NYX Lift and Snatch brow markers. I have one in ash brown and I have one in espresso. Do I need to? Yes. I think in order for them to look more natural, the different tones and textured colors help them to look more natural. Yeah, natural. And so I've been doing this, and just the other day I started using my Forget Me Not palette from Blend Money as a kind of filler on the really, really bald spots, just for a bit more of a base. And I like a clean line under my brow, so I thought I would come on and do it on camera. I'm gonna look awkward most of the time because I have to be pretty close to the mirror, but hopefully this will work well enough that if you were interested in trying this kind of technique or whatever, it will help. So I always start with a clean spoolie, and I brush my brows up and out. I do trim them every few months. My brow hairs don't grow particularly fast, and I usually leave these outer ones to be fairly long, and I trim the front ones so they're a little bit shorter. So I go in first with the lighter shade, which is hard to open. So I go into lighter shade first, and that's ash brown. And I just kind of start doing hair strokes. I never start out here because I'm afeared. So I just kind of start in this area, and then I work my way out. And at first it looks a little odd because, you know, adding hairs to someplace that there's not usually hair just looks different. So I figured I would do one brow and show you the difference between the two. That's pretty much what I do with the lighter shade, the ash brown. And when I put these away, I store them with the cover down so that the liquid is near the tip. And then I take the darker shade called espresso, and that one I start out here. I have a scar that runs through my brow, and the hairs don't grow here, haven't for years. So I just kind of add a few out here, and then I start working my way in. I just kind of keep with the direction that I want my brows to go in. And then I'll add a few just in here because it is quite a bit darker. I think it adds some depth and some dimension to my brows so they look a bit more realistic. And you could even like drag a few down this way to have more hair-like strokes up in that area. So the inner part of my brow doesn't look perfect. And this is where a shadow or a powder product comes in handy. So I'm going to take this shade right here called All I Need on, where'd it go? On my little brow brush. It's the other end of the spoolie. So I'm just going to dip in a tiny bit because you can always add more. And I'm just going to brush it along the bottom edge. And I'm really just dipping into the pan. I'm not swiping or rubbing, just dipping in a little. You can also get this same kind of effect with the eye primer. I use a tinted eye primer for below my brow, and that helps it to look a little bit more cleaned up. I'm going to go into the darker shade called In the Plan, just out here. I really do think using different colors makes a pretty big difference in how the brow ends up looking. So that's that brow done, and then I'll show you real quick in case you care. I'm going to take my Sigma Ignite eye primer and I just do 2 little swipes like that. And then I use a kind of dense eyeshadow brush and I push it in so it kind of meets up to my brow, but doesn't necessarily mess with anything that I've done to my brow. And then as I come away, I just start to blend it out. And then I'll go in with my Milani eye primer for my lid and my crease. That is the only one that I have found that keeps my eyeshadow out here from creasing. Everything else creases, and it's just mattes out there. Like, it shouldn't crease, but it does. So I'll just do that real quick and show you in case you're interested. I'll just take the tube directly onto my lid and squeeze out just a tiny bit. It really doesn't take much. And this one dries down pretty nicely to a almost powdery texture, which I think is what makes it work so well out here. And I just use it all over the rest of my lid, and I blend it up into the Sigma one. The Sigma eye base stays a little bit tacky, which I really, really like as an eyeshadow primer, but it doesn't help with the creasing out here. So that's one brow done, one brow not done. I think the difference is significant, and I really like the more full, fluffy looking brow. And then once I get my eyeshadow done and my face on and all of that, I'll run through it with a brow gel, and that will be that. So I'm going to go off camera, do my other brow, of course, do my whole face. I'm going to film another video, so you'll see that look before you see this video, I think. But yeah, and then I'll be back and show you what everything looks like when I'm all done. All right, so obviously my eyes and my face are done. Now I'm going to take the Maybelline New York Brow Fast Sculpt. This is my favorite drugstore brow gel. I genuinely love this. This is my second little tubey thing of it. The brush has longer bristles on one end and shorter on the other. So I'm pretty sure, if memory serves, the longer one applies the product and the shorter one combs through or vice versa. Oh man, I just got that all over my hair and it's gonna leave a spot on my forehead. Lovely. Okay, well, try to keep your hairs out of the way. So I kind of want my brows to be a little bit standy-uppy, but not like too bad. So I do trim them and that helps. Okay, I think that the short bristles apply and the long ones comb through. Yeah, that looks much better. So that's how I get my brows to look like they do recently. I don't know if this was helpful for anybody, but hopefully if you were looking for some brow information, this helps you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Either way, I appreciate you hanging out with me today. Be good and remember to be kind to you.